Hello, this is Spud0709 and welcome to my shop. Today I'm going to show you my scratch start TIG welding setup and equipment. Before we get started, a short disclaimer. I am an amateur self-taught welder. I've been stick welding for a little over 40 years but have never taken formal welding lessons. Until about a month ago, I had never TIG welded. So keep in mind when watching any of my welding videos that the information you receive here may be worth exactly what you're paying for it. Before we get started looking at the actual equipment, I thought it would be useful to show you a simplified diagram of my scratch start TIG setup. Now, do TIG weld steel, stainless steel, chrome moly, you need a DC constant current power source. So you need a DC welder. Well, I didn't have a DC welder, I have an AC welder. So I constructed or fabricated a rectifier that takes the AC from my AC welder and changes it to DC. You can also buy AC-DC welders that are all one unit. But anyway, you need a DC welder to TIG weld steel, stainless steel, chrome moly, etc. So here's my setup. I've got my AC welder. The leads from that come over to a rectifier. The rectifier takes the AC from the AC welder, changes it to DC, rectifies it. And here's the output from the rectifier, and there's the polarity, negative and positive. The negative from the rectifier is connected to the TIG torch, and the positive from the rectifier is connected to the ground clamp. Now you also need shielding gas for TIG welding, and for steel, generally speaking, it's 100% argon that's used, I think almost universally nowadays. And so you have to have an argon bottle and a regulator to regulate the flow of argon, and from that regulator, a hose takes that argon to your TIG torch. So if you have a DC welder, here's what it's going to cost you to get started in TIG welding, scratch start TIG. The torch kit that I bought was from CyberWeld. It's a thermal arc TIG torch kit. It was $112. The argon regulator was from Harbor Freight. It was $36. And the argon bottle I bought from my local welding service. It's a 40 cubic foot bottle. The bottle and its first fill was $120. So my total cost was $268 to get my scratch start setup going. And like I say, that does not include the cost of a DC welder if you need to buy one of those, of course. So let's take a look at the equipment. This is my Lincoln AC welder, 180 amp welder. It's about a little over 40 years old. I got it in 1970. It's welded up many projects for me. But anyway, from this AC welder, the welding leads come out right there, and they connect to the leads that go into the rectifier, which is that little red box. The rectifier in the back has two leads coming out of it. That's the input, that's AC in, and they connect to the AC from the Lincoln welder. Now the rectifier, as I said, changes the AC alternating current to direct current. And here's the direct current out of the rectifier, negative and positive. And connected to that negative terminal is my TIG torch, which is right there, a thermal arc TIG torch. Connected to the positive output from the rectifier is the ground clamp. Now also, the argon bottle is sitting right behind it in a cute little cart that I built. That is, we'll follow the hose from right there. That little black and red hose is attached to the TIG torch connector. Goes around here, around the back, and goes right up to the regulator. Let me see if I can lighten that up a little bit. And there's the argon flow regulator that is attached to the 40 cubic foot argon bottle.